during the height of the Temperance movement in the United States and Great Britain, when social groups actively campaigned against the consumption of alcohol.
Boo.
Boo. They were boring. Next, they were like feminist. Before modern plumbing and paved roads, cities used large or strong wooden carts equipped with massive cylindrical tanks of water. They were known as water wagons. Their primary job was to drive down the dusty dirt roads, spraying water onto the ground to keep the dust from kicking up into the air, blanketing the city. Men who pledged to stop drinking alcohol would dramatically declare that they were going to climb up and ride on top of the water cart instead of going to the saloon. The idea was that if they became thirsty, they would have nothing to drink but the pure, clean water from the wagon, which I doubt it was pure or clean.
Yeah.
But it was
non-potable.
The alcohol was probably clean. Originally, the full phrase was on the water wagon. Over time, people dropped the word water, but the mental image stuck. Falling off the wagon, a person had tumbled back onto the street right outside the doors of the local bar.
Into the awesome life of hanging out at a saloon.
You're like, how did I fall off right in front of my local pub?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, where?
Sorry, honey.
But yes, now the modern day meaning is abstaining for alcohol or sex or drugs or anything bad, while off the wagon means that you've relapsed.
So you're on the wagon, boring as shit.
Yes.
Off the wagon,
You're fun
fucking
and
Chad,
psycho.
awesome, cool dude.
So back for round 2 of phrases we use every day and their origins. So 15 more fun ones. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
Are you ready for all these terms?
I really like the 15 from last episode.
All right. So we're getting back to the ones that we've always heard of, which, yes.
In fact, if you've not seen the first episode, here, I'm going to put the thingy right about here or somewhere on the screen.
I'm all looking at your screen. I'm all where? You're putting it somewhere.
Yeah, it's on the screen somewhere.
It might be here or here.
This circle or, yeah.
It might be on one of them.
Yeah. Editing is fun.
Yeah, he enjoys it sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So number 16, or number 1 of this episode, by and large.
We hear that one, yeah.
This one, yes, we do hear this one.
Okay. And that's a
You're
definitely.
like, let's take a stab at
and
this
that one's
one.
definitely a taken
like-
for granted
You're
one.
like, what is this? I don't even know how to modernly say this. How does this mean in modern terms? Another maritime one. Another one from the ship days.
Okay.
They still use. There's a lot of ship terms in this one, and I do break it down because by and large are literally 2 different terms squished together to mean something.
All right.
Okay. Like I said, it's another phrase completely inherited from our golden age of sailing. Another maritime one. All my Navy ship people are probably yelling at the screen right now. I know what that means. And you're probably right. Okay, so it describes how a wooden ship handles in the wind. So to understand this, I'm going to explain the by and the large. And I had to read this several times because sometimes you read and you're not processing. And then you have to read to actually understand. It's like listening. Sometimes you listen, but you're not listening to listen. You're listening to respond. So I was reading because I was reading, not to understand. Okay, so by means for sailing, you are sailing, directly into the wind.
Okay.
As closely as possible. So you're sailing into it. It's usually a harder thing to do.
Yeah, you got to hit the angles right.
You're sailing into that wind, and it was very difficult. Not everyone could do that one. That was a tough one.
Probably a zigzag pattern.
Yeah, I don't know how they did it, but yes, this was the harder thing to sail with, and it required constant adjustments, and you had to keep the sails full. That's what required the constant adjustments because you're sailing into it. It's pushing against you. It's a whole thing. Large is when the wind is behind you.
Easy.
So it's a lot easier. So, yes, that's when it blows behind the ship and it's pushing you effortlessly along. It's the easiest and most favorable way to sail your ship. By, hard. Large, easy. When a captain or helmsman said a ship was a good vessel, by and large, that managed to perform remarkably in all conditions.
Okay.
So that was the ship you wanted to be on, because it
Yes.
could go into the wind and against the wind. Like, it was all good. Or in, out. You know what I'm saying?
So it's salesman.
By and large.
It's salesman lingo.
Yes, it is how you maneuver your ship. So very difficult. And it's so cute because I was like, I would have never guessed that.
Neither. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah,
about
it's total ship terminology. Like I said, all the people who know ships, fishermen, all that, are probably screaming at the cam or at the screen, going, "I know what that means."
that.
And it's from the late 19th century, probably before that, because I would think that would be before that. And the phrase drifted off the ocean and into the everyday speech, evolving into a quick way to say, take everything into account. Generally speaking, on the whole, by and large, totally means something opposite of what it means.
So kind of like it encompasses, it's good on every level.
Yes, by and large, difficult, easy, all together. It's great.
Sounds such a salesman speak.
Exactly. And I feel like many salespeople would, you go to the car dealership or wherever they're selling you crap, the cell phone place, the people you ignore at Walmart trying to sell you phone plans. You're like, oh, I'm going to go around that.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are you in the middle, like by the toy and electric aisles? Just go to a phone shop. You're annoying me.
What a depressing job.
Yeah, I would hate to bother
99% of people tell you to fuck off in a polite way.
No.
And-
No. Oh, and they start like really bugging you, and I'm practically yelling at them, like, leave me alone.
I just
If I wanted something, I'd approach you.
I just tell them I'm on the family plan, I own nothing, and I'm a renter.
I am on EBT. Leave me.
Yeah, I'm poor, man. I got nothing for you.
Our next one, straight from the horse's mouth.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. Ooh,
You sound like a monkey.
I think I know this one.
Has nothing to do with monkeys.
I think it's because a horse's teeth are an indicator of its health when you're buying it.
Yes. Look how smart you are.
Yeah.
The origin goes, it comes directly from the world of horse racing. I can't speak today. I took my tongue ring out so I could speak better, and it's not really working. But it's mostly working because I have not been too bad at pronouncing
It's like
things.
taking off heavy boots.
Yes.
Your feet move quicker.
I can talk better. So, directly from the world of horse racing in 19th and early 20th centuries, which is where it seems like a lot of these come from. Because, America was fairly new, I guess. Before placing a bet on a race, gamblers would desperately scramble for inside information on which horse was in best condition to win. They would ask the stable hands, the trainers, or the jockeys. However, these human resources were notoriously unreliable.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
How are you going to throw the race? Yeah.
Just think of all the corruption, too. Like, people would say things to make, you know how it all works. And this is why they might lie to manipulate the betting odds, or they simply might be guessing. So, again, unreliable. Don't trust those people. The only completely flawless, unforgettable way to know a horse's true age, health, and athletic potential was to look at its teeth. As a horse ages, its teeth change shape, angle, and wear patterns in a perfectly predictable way. A dishonest seller or trainer could lie about a horse's age, but the horse's own physical mouth could never lie. Therefore, the ultimate undeniable truth about the animal came straight from the horse's mouth. By the 1920s, the phrase expanded past the racetrack to describe any piece of ironclad first-hand information. So the modern meaning, information from the original or the most trustworthy source, which is how we do use that. Or also, in terms of gossip, you got to go to the source.
I was thinking gossip.
Yes, always go to the source,
Yeah.
because that's straight from the horse's mouth. Or, someone who has a horse mouth. AOC. Anywho.
She looks more like a mule in my mind.
Yeah, she's still beautiful, but that mouth.
I'd tap it.
Yeah, she has a nice rack. I won't, take away. She's a hottie. She's just annoying. Damn communist. Anywho. Number 18. Paint the town red. This is actually a great story.
You know, I don't. Okay. I only know what I think it means, which is to party really hard and like kind of basically it's like getting blackout drunk in the middle of town and just having a
Any
good old,
town.
any town,
Vegas.
and having a good old time.
Vegas, Havasu, anywhere, depending on your state. Yes. So there's a whole story behind this, which is great because, of course, it has to do with the rich people, as usual. It was a wild night by an English nobleman that may have inspired it. A popular story credits the phrase to an 1837 night of drunken chaos led by Henry Beresford. I think I'm saying that right. Beresford, who allegedly vandalized buildings in England by literally painting parts of the town red. While historians debate the exact origin, the tale helped popularize the expression. So this is the story of what they did.
The rich get away with shit.
Yes, as long as they can pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You painted my house red.
Yes.
Here's a bribe. Shut up.
I mean, rules are, like breaking the law, speeding, You can speed as long as you can pay for it. It's fine. So get out of my way so I can go 80 on the freeway, not 42. I hate you people.
Yeah, poor people.
I keep running into you guys where the speed limit is 60, 65, and you guys are going 35. It's really annoying. And it's illegal to do.
Straight to the left lane, too.
Yes, get out of the passing lane. Even in California, it is a thing. All right, so the story goes. Some phrases have vague histories. This one traces back to the highly specific legendary night of historical vandalism in Milton Mowbray, England in 1837. The main character of the story is Harry Beresford, the third Marquess of Waterford.
Marquis.
That's not how it pronounces on the thing.
Oh, okay.
I looked up how to say it. It's like Marquess or Marquis. And I had the British accent and everything to tell me how to say it. But it is not Marquis because that's what I thought it was. And it is not Marquis. Or at least that's not how it said it on the Pronounce app. Anywho, say it how you will. We'll just call him Henry because that's easier. So he is known to his friends as in the public as the Mad, as you want to say Marquis or the Marquess or Marquis or however. He was notoriously wealthy, reckless, and a mischievous young aristocrat who loved playing elaborate pranks and getting into drunken brawls, which sounds like everybody who is young and rich.
Yeah.
Or just influencers
I'm
today.
just thinking,
all the
fucking
TikTokers who are doing pranks and getting punched in the face and arrested in other countries, which I say, good for those countries.
Good for those countries.
I hope you rot in prison because you're disrespecting them.
Looking at you, Johnny Smalley.
Yes. Oh my God, that guy is so annoying. I didn't even know about him until he got arrested. What was that? South Korea?
South Korea.
Yeah. Well,
South Korea doesn't tolerate.
Yeah, because he was like lap dancing on the monument of women who were raped during war.
On the trafficked children monument.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
For women who were raped and kids who were trafficked. Yeah, that was so disrespectful.
No.
That's not funny. It's not cute. So I have no problem with people like you being arrested because you're disrespectful. Anywho, after a successful day of heavy drinking, like I said, day, not even night, day of heavy drinking and celebrating at the local races, Henry and his rowdy group of upper-class friends decided to keep the party going through the streets of the small town. When they reached a toll gate, the gatekeeper demanded payment. Refusing to pay, the drunken group picked up pots of red paint left behind by nearby builders and literally painted the toll gate red. They didn't stop there. The group rampaged through the town center using their brushes and buckets to slather red paint onto the front doors of several homes, local shops, the town, a central cross, and even the post office. They overturned flower pots, knocked over lamps, and knocked the local watchman and his own postbox over. The next morning, the town woke up to a literal crimson mess. Henry eventually paid for all the property damage out of his own pocket to avoid jail time. But the story of this drunken gang literally painting the town red became a national sensation, cementing the phrase forever as the ultimate symbol of a wild night out. That's like a great story.
Yeah.
I love it.
Just stumbling on red paint cans and then just going nuts with them.
Yes, they're like, what? We're drunk. I can see so many drunk people doing that.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like, kids graffiti today.
But just...
That person is in song right now.
Yeah.
There's a person, I don't know if you guys can hear him, but they're totally singing in the hallways right now. It's so funny.
And it's off key.
So off key.
Yeah.
They sing better than me, though, so I won't hold it against them. So, yeah, the modern meaning is to celebrate wildly or have a night out. Which is a wild night. Like, you're not going to remember. They probably didn't remember this the next day because they were so drunk. They're like, we did what? They're like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Like, and how much was it? That's 50 pounds, sir.
Which back in what did I say, 1837?
Yeah, that was a lot of money.
That was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, because, I got to fix all the red. It's red paint.
I'll have Daddy send me some money.
Daddy, can you please help me pay for me painting the town red?
I painted the town red.
I broke flower pots and hit over the watchman. I think we're in trouble. Oh, my God. Who just sings like that? They're having a good old time. It's like karaoke in the hallway. All right. The next one, which we've not only heard the same, they also have a movie. The whole 9 yards.
Okay. Well,
there's 3 theories for this phrase.
Well, and my thing is that 10 yards gets you the first down.
You're like, football.
Yeah. So 9 yards is like...
You're like, that means nothing.
It's not enough.
No.
So
you're like, you're 1 yard short. This is not how this
exactly.
works.
It's not the whole... okay, that's me thinking about it. But the whole 9 yards in my mind means accomplishing something through hard work.
Yes, it is. But we got 3 origin stories here. So there's the rumors, and then there's what they think is the true story. The number 1 we're going to go with is the most popular myth. And I've heard this myth before, and I was like, is that the reason? And it comes from a World War II ammo belt theory. So this most common story that I've heard, and maybe some people watching have heard, is from the American fighter pilots during World War II, where they had machine gun ammunition belts in planes like the P-51 Mustang were supposedly exactly 9 yards, 27 feet long. Okay. The pilot came back from a dogfight having fired all ammunition. They had literally given the enemy the whole 9 yards. And as much as that is a great military story, military historians have pointed out that the ammo belts came in various lengths, and that phrase doesn't actually show up in any prints until much later. I don't know who came up with that idea. I mean, it's a great theory, but it's also not.
It doesn't connect.
It can't even be a theory because there's no story that connects it. Yeah. The lengths were different.
It doesn't connect like a lot of the other ones do.
No, there's zero connection. Yeah. There's like, no, because they come in different sizes. How did they get that? And there's nothing connecting it. Then there's like, the second one is the tailoring theory. It's from high-end tailoring. It is said that making the traditional Scottish kilts and ornate 3-piece suits or a high-quality burial shroud required exactly 9 yards of fabric. To use the whole 9 yards that you were using for the maximum amount of material possible to make the best products.
Okay, that one makes more sense than the first one.
And the number 3 theory is the cement truck theory, which I haven't heard of this one. I didn't hear the tailoring one either. Some point in the mid-20th century, construction claiming that a standard cement mixer truck held maximum capacity of 9 yards of cement. If a job required a completely full truck, the crew would order the whole 9 yards. Now, what linguistics actually found, because, they look through all the writings, all the newspapers, all the books. That's what a linguistic person does. Despite all the vivid theories, language researchers, linguistics, threw a wrench in the gears a few years ago. We love these people. Bring me the facts.
They're not fun at parties.
No, they're like, no.
They ruin parties.
I'm
sorry. You misspoke. You said that wrong.
Yeah. I get that all the time, as you guys probably tell me without me hearing. They discovered newspaper archives from the early 1900s in America using the phrase the whole 6 yards with the exact same meaning. It turns out the number 9 wasn't actually special at all. The phrase likely started as a simple exaggerated slang term similar to saying the whole shebang or the full Monty. And over the decades, that number naturally drifted from 6 to 9 yards just to sound even bigger. So basically, it was bullshit.
I like the middle one. I like the Scottish.
Yeah, because we like the Scots. They're fun.
Yeah.
The modern meaning is everything, the entire amount, all the way, going all out when you're giving 100% effort. That's the whole 9 yards. And I also like the movie.
And it's largely influenced by football.
Yes.
Because that's where...
That's 10 yards, not 9 yards.
Yeah.
So that's silly. So much happening right now. So many doors. Oh, those are our favorite neighbors are here.
Most of them are okay.
Okay. So number 20. Read the Riot Act. Or read the Riot Act.
Or read me the Riot Act.
Yes.
This is what you say to a woman who's mad at you.
Or what the woman says to you when she's mad at you.
Yeah.
She reads you the Riot Act.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what men say to other men when one beer turns into 9 and you're going to show up home drunk.
No. Not at all.
Man, she's going to read you the Riot Act.
I'm going to read you about it.
Yeah.
Because there's a history about this one as well, as they all have histories. The phrase isn't just a colorful metaphor. The Riot Act was a very real, incredibly strict piece of legislation passed by the British Parliament in 1714. So it's not just a saying. It was a whole thing. During the 18th century, civil unrest, political protests, and rowdy street brawls were incredibly common in England. Shocking.
Yeah.
The peasants were sad. And we need to bring that all back. To give the government a legal way to disperse angry crowds, I fucked up on a lot of words here. The state had, if there were groups of 12 or more people gathered and looked like they were causing a disturbance, a local magistrate or peace officer could march right up to them and literally read a specific formal proclamation out loud. The officer would pull out a piece of paper and read these exact words because this is so intimidating. One little guy reading to a crowd of 12 or more. He would say, "Our sovereign, Lord the King changeth and commandeth all persons being assembled immediately to disperse themselves and peaceably to depart to their habitations. God save the king." Because that would make me scamper.
Oh, yeah.
Just one dude.
The British are famously patient with their peasants.
Yes. Once those words were spoken, a literal statutory time started. The crowd had exactly 1 hour to clear out and go home. If they refused to leave after the 60 minutes were up, the law allowed the authorities to use maximum force, including the military, to arrest or forcefully disperse the crowd. Anyone remaining could face life in prison or even execution. Yes, we need to bring that back. The literal practice was eventually abandoned and officially repealed in 1967. So not even that long ago.
Yeah.
But the visual of someone pulling you aside to read you a final severe warning stuck around in our vocabulary ever since.
You have 60 minutes to leave this premises.
You have to leave. And I'm going to read this sentence that should make you leave. Where everyone nowadays would just laugh in your face.
I'm an American. Well, in America.
You can't tell me I'm a sovereign person. I'm traveling.
I'm traveling to this spot.
I'm traveling. I love those videos.
Oh, my God.
Let me see your ID. No, I'm traveling.
Oh, my. Those idiots.
I'm not speeding. I'm traveling.
Well, and then there's the First Amendment auditors.
Oh, my God.
See, we're talking American stuff right now.
Mm-hmm.
The the First Amendment auditors, the guys that show up with cameras and start just.
Oh yeah.
And then it's just a payday. They're looking for a payday.
Yeah,
because
we've talked about it before.
Yeah, if a cop doesn't know the fucking rules and arrests them, now
so many don't though. It's like that's
actually,
your job.
And it's weird because I agree with these people, but they're such jerks about it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's their whole thing. They're trying to intimidate. They're trying to piss off that cop. They're trying to confuse them and get them jumbled up. It's a tactic too.
Yeah, and the cop just needs to go, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to walk away now. Bye.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. It's just like where you see those people doing those Q&A on the streets and they're just asking the most basic questions to people. But when you're put on the spot, you're kind of like, oh, what? And there's a camera on you. And it's like, who was the first president? And they're like, Lincoln. It's like you're on the spot. You're nervous. You're not thinking straight. And all of us watch those videos where we're not in that position where we can go, are you stupid? But again, you get nervous when people got a camera in your face, got a microphone in your face.
You should know, yeah.
I mean, you should, but
yeah.
People react weird under different circumstances. All right, the next one. Is that what I did? Okay. Face the music.
I only know what it means today of just like, you have to accept the reality of these bad. You don't say face the music when something good is happening. No,
it's never. No.
It's bad things are happening. You have to accept it.
Or you did bad things and you have to face the consequence.
Yes.
Or face the music. Historians and linguists trace this phrase back to two separate worlds in the 19th century. The theater and the military both have explanations.
Okay.
Which is so interesting that so much goes back to maritime, to the Navy, to the military. So,
See, I'm thinking
same time.
I'm thinking of the military execution.
Yeah, it's
where
not the execution.
a drum is playing.
Close, but it's not an execution. It's more like, you've been bad, goodbye. All right, the theater theory, and this would be, this one sounds rough, but it happens. The most widespread explanation comes from the world of old stage acting and musical theater. When a nervous actor or singer stepped out onto the stage to perform, they were looking directly down into the orchestra pit, which was located right at the front of the stage. If an actor forgot the lines, messed up a routine, or faced an angry booing audience, they had to stand there under the blinding stage lights and literally face the music and the musicians, playing right below them, pushing them through the performance despite the pressure, which would be so awkward.
Oh my God.
And I've been that person. I was like, ugh.
I forgot all my lines. Line.
Yeah. The second is the military court-martial theory. All right. So from the strict, rigid customs of the British, because it all comes back to the British, and the early American military, when a soldier was court-martialed, found guilty of a major offense like cowardice or desertion, and dishonorably discharged, they were subjugated to a public ritual called drumming out. The entire regiment would gather information, and the disgraced soldier would be stripped of their uniform buttons and insignia. They were then forced to march slowly out of the camp gates, while the military band played a somber rhythmic beat on their drum and fifes. To leave the camp, the soldier literally had to walk past the band and face the music as they were cast out in shame. This phrase first appeared in American print around 1830s as a slang term for dealing with an impending mess and has remained the ultimate metaphor for taking accountability ever since. So, modern meaning to accept the consequences of your actions, admit your mistake, and dealing with incoming criticism or punishment without making excuses.
I don't know. Both of them are equally. They both equally sound plausible. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at first, I was like, the first one sounds really good, and then the second one, I'm like, oh shit, okay,
yeah.
All right. 50,
but I feel like the stage one is just kind of like, that happens all the time, and it's just like, yeah, of course you're facing the music regardless, even if you don't mess up, you're facing the music because that's where the orchestra is.
Even though I've never gone through that exact thing, I understand, It's pretty easy to understand.
Where I feel like the second one, you did something bad and they're drumming you out. So you are facing consequences, which makes more sense to the saying to me than just you messed up in your play. Because regardless of messing up or not messing up, you are still facing the orchestra. You're still facing the music. I feel like the military one makes more sense to me.
Well, those damn linguists not being able to decide which one is truest.
Truest. I love it. The next one. Fly off the handle or flying off the handle.
Okay, this is also another one that you tell a woman that's mad.
Aren't they always mad? They're all crazy. Water break, hydration break.
Hydration break. Yeah, my mom would fly off the handle all the time. And every woman that I've ever interacted with on a long time,
I've never.
On an intimate basis has also flown off the handle.
I've never flown off the handle.
No, we have a professional relationship.
At least on
totally
you.
Different.
I get psycho all the time.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's a professional thing.
So professional. This phrase comes directly from the pioneer days of the 19th century America and the physical hazards of manual labor.
Okay.
Some of people today don't know what that means.
Physical labor is
manual labor is when you actually work.
Imagine a shovel.
You sweat a little bit or a lot. Like, people working in the fields.
Yeah.
Or
we're not going to say what kind of people, though.
Yeah. Like any kind of job like that is, a lot of people who work in trades.
Yeah.
The trade jobs.
Poor people.
Pipe fitters aren't poor people.
No.
Manual labor. So it's hard work. Okay. Before mass production and modern manufacturing, standard tools like axes were often handmade or repaired by your local blacksmith and farmers.
Okay.
This gets crazy because this is like legit scary. The heavy iron or steel axe head was held onto the wooden handle called a helve, solely by a tight wedge of wood or metal shoved into the top eye of the blade. Over time, if the wooden handle dried out, shrank, or rotted from the moisture, the fit would become dangerously loose. If the woodcutter took a massive, forceful swing with a compromised tool, the heavy iron head would suddenly detach mid-swing and violently fly off the handle. Without the heavy blade to anchor it, the wooden handle was left useless in the cutter's hands, while the loose blade became a wild, unpredictable, and potentially lethal missile flying through the air. The metaphor was perfect. The sudden, dangerous, completely uncontrolled latch of the axe had perfectly met a person suddenly losing their mind and a fit of rage. The phrase first appeared in American literature in 1830s and has been used to describe explosive tempers ever since.
Huh.
Which makes sense.
I think it's just funny that, the wedge to hold the axe handle, that technology's probably 1,000 years old, if not
yes.
And we haven't improved on it since.
They're like, it works.
Yeah, it works, whatever.
You can't really do much for it. But it makes sense when, you're using it to describe someone's temper because it's unpredictable. It's dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
And it makes so much sense.
Even if the blade part doesn't hit you, it's a heavy piece of metal.
And it's, usually when you say someone's flying off the handle, it's always over something minor. Just like with the axe. It's like you use it for a while, the most probably smallest little swing, something minor.
Yeah, ladies, calm down.
Calm down. Stop being crazy.
It's not a big deal.
Just calm down. That never triggers women ever.
No.
Just
they like hearing that.
We do. That's our favorite.
Calm down.
Calm down.
It doesn't matter.
You're fine, honey. Pull out all the stops.
Trains.
Trains.
That's all I got.
That's all you got. The phrase comes directly from the mechanics of a pipe organ.
Damn.
One of the largest, loudest, and most complex musical instruments ever created.
Pretty cool sounding too.
Yes, they're very cool. Usually you hear them in churches.
Yep.
They're very complicated. There's all kinds of parts inside them. And I used to think the harp was crazy, but there's not a lot to a harp. It's just a bunch of strings.
Strings, yeah.
On a piece of wood or whatever you're making it out of. But a pipe organ, ooh, so many moving parts. Alrighty, let's get into this. Where did I? Oh, I'm sliding way too much. All right. Inside a pipe organ, the air from the bellows is directed into thousands of different wooden and metal pipes. To control which set of pipes the air can enter, the organist uses mechanical drawn knobs called stops. So this is what controls the airflow in the pipes. So they're pulling those all the time. Each individual stop controls a specific tone or volume level, like a flute sound or a trumpet sound or a deep bass sound. So all those knobs control different sounds, different levels. Again, complicated. When a stop knob is pushed in, it blocks the air from entering those specific pipes, keeping them silent. So you put in the stop, quiet. So it has no use. If an organist wants to play the maximum volume, maximum power, and the absolute fullest richness of the instrument, they would literally grab the knobs and pull out all the stops. With every single stop pulled out, air rushed into every single pipe, simultaneously unleashing the thunderous room shaking capacity of the organ. By the late 19th century, writers began using the organist's unlimited power move as a metaphor for giving 100% effort in everyday life.
Full blast.
Full blast. So yes, the modern meaning is to use everything available, every resource, no spare, no expenses, to ensure that something succeeded and becomes an unforgettable event. So 110%, you're pulling out all the stops. You're doing everything in your power to make it happen.
Maximum effort.
Maximum. To the max. Past the max. Super max. The next one, barking up the wrong tree. This one's kind of funny.
Okay, it's got to be a hunting reference.
It is. You're so smart. You're the smartest of my friends. Yeah. This phrase comes directly from the rugged woods of 19th century America and the traditional practice of hunting with trained hounds. Pioneers and hunters heavily relied on specific breeds of tracking dogs like coon hounds to hunt nocturnal games like raccoons. That's why they're called coon hounds, not because of something else. Just so you know.
Yeah.
Don't try to make this a racist thing. Coons, raccoons, just so you know. All right. When a hound picked up the scent, it would chase the raccoon through the dense forest until the animal panicked and scrambled up the tree to escape. The hunting dogs would sit at the base of the trunk, staring up at the branches, and bark loudly to alert the hunter of the exact location. The behavior literally was called treeing. However, raccoons are notoriously clever,
they're smart.
Agile creatures.
They're a rather smart animal.
They're very smart. They got a thumb. They can open your door. They are famous for leaping from upper branches from one tree directly into a neighboring tree without ever touching the ground. If the tracking dog missed the scent in midair, it would escape. It would continue I can't talk right now. I'm tired. Furiously barking and howling at the base of the original trunk. When the hunter finally caught up through the dark woods, rifle in hand, they would find the enthusiastic dog barking up the wrong tree, completely unaware that the prey had long since vanished. The vivid image of a confident but completely mistaken dog became a massive hit in the American slang, appearing in print in the 1830s to describe anyone confidently charging down the wrong path. So today's modern meaning, pursuing the wrong idea or accusing the wrong person or following a completely incorrect path to solve a problem.
Or someone's trying to fight you and you're like,
You're
barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, which would be a wrong idea.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, cost an arm and a leg.
Okay, we all know this one.
Do we? Oh, do we
all
know the
what
meaning?
It means.
Oh,
We're
expensive.
Yeah, fucking unaffordable.
Unaffordable, yes. That is the modern lingo for it. The origin, unlike idioms with a single paper trail, this phrase has two widely popular competing origin stories. One comes from the art world, while the other is more historically accurate, comes from the battlefield.
Okay.
All right. The artistic routes. The most common legend you'll hear is that the phrase dates back to the 18th century portrait painters like John Singleton Copley or Gilbert Stuart. The story goes that the artist charged customers based on how much of their body was depicted in the painting. A simple head or shoulder portraits were cheaper. But if a wealthy client wanted a grand full body portrait showing their limbs, like an arm and a leg, it would cost more. Well, while it's an ingenious theory, which I think that sounds ridiculous to me.
Painting arms and legs is easy.
Yeah.
Compared to a face.
But even if you don't have to paint them at all, it's even easier.
Yeah.
But it's like the historians debunked it. The 18th century portrait pricing was based on canvas side and the complexity, not per limb menu. Yeah. And the phrase doesn't appear in print anywhere near its era.
Yeah.
It's just like, no, like it's all BS. So the second theory is the grim reality of the 20th century warfare. And this is where our linguistics jump in again. Our linguists find that the phrase actually exploded into the English language right after World War I and World War II. With the advent of heavy artillery, trench warfare, and the battlefield explosive, thousands of soldiers returned home surviving injuries that previously would have been fatal, but at a catastrophic cost. They had lost limbs. For these soldiers, buying their safety and securing a victory for their country had quite literally cost them an arm and a leg. The phrase began trickling into newspapers and everyday speech in the late 1940s. One of the earliest recorded uses comes from a food price bureau in 1949, where the official noted to change the bill of fare would cost an arm and a leg. The grim physical sacrifice of the world wars had transformed into our favorite modern metaphor for a brutal price tag.
Hmm.
Blah, 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 blah.
That one makes a lot more sense than the first
Oh,
one.
of course it does. It's just some of the theories are just like, where did you get that? This honestly makes no sense.
The first one sounded like something a drunk guy would say, just to be right at a bar.
Well, it's like people trying to rewrite history. They just make shit up. Yeah. And then somehow it becomes a common theory or saying, and you're like, where did you get that? It's not anywhere.
I thought of Cliff Clavin from Cheers, just making shit up.
Oh my God, so many people do that nowadays. And now that we have social media and TikTok, people are making videos with their bullshit. And it's just like, I watch them and I'm like, how many historians are watching this just wanting to tear their everything out? Eyes, ears, like, it's like, I've been studying this for 50 years. And this guy's been studying it for 5 seconds. What do they know?
It's easy to insert yourself into history.
Yes. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of, history and studying behind things that people don't have. So they're just looking at things like pictures and not understanding how, and we've talked about this before, how paint changes over the years, let alone centuries, how the color changes and, and people are like, oh, that paint's dark. That makes that person black. It's like, no, paint darkens over time, and that's why they appear darker.
Well,
that's why you talk to the historians who know things.
The historians have access to some of the old books and
Yes,
texts.
exactly.
While modern historians have access to the internet, which is just
I wouldn't
shit
call them
that's been
historians.
Repeated back and forth on the internet. Reddit is not history.
Like, I would not call myself a historian. I am just a fan of history. And,
I'll admit, I do love learning theories from the comments
theories
section.
Are fun.
The comments section of anything is fantastic.
I get stuck in comment sections.
There's times where there's times where a clip will start, and within the first 3 seconds, I'm like, oh, comment section.
Yeah, I don't even finish the clip. I'm like, straight to the comments.
Comments.
I'm like running there. I'm like, let's see. And then I'm not shocked by the first 1 or 2 comments. And then I get stuck in that thread of their comment. I'm like, where did you pull this from? Anyways, our next one, dead ringer.
Horseshoes.
Horseshoes.
No.
But we have 2 origin stories for this one. A myth versus the racetrack. So kind of, sort of. All right. Like many popular idioms, and it's weird because my computer went into a total different font for this. So I feel like there was a ghost, maybe Loeb in my computer. So I'm not happy I looked at her because things kept changing on my computer. As you keep saying, things weren't working. this, like, literally, look at this. It, like, went into, like, a different font.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the whole thing did. I don't know why I did not change it. Did not know how to change it back. Anywho, so, like many popular idioms, the dead ringer has an incredibly famous urban legend attached to it, which we spoke about earlier. But the actual historical origin comes from a completely different world. So the first theory we kind of touched on earlier, it's the safety coffin myth, the bell in the coffin.
Ah, yes.
Dead ringer.
Refer to episode 1.
Yes. So the spooky story everybody loves, because we love a good spooky story. The most widespread rumor is that the phrase comes from the 19th century fear of being buried alive. The story goes that people were buried in safety coffins equipped with a string tied to their wrist that led up to a bell above ground, which I don't know how that would work, because you think burying them, that dirt would not make that string pullable. But I'm sure there was a way they did it. Maybe they put it in a tube. I'm not really sure, but that would make sense.
Whatever, they got paid.
Yeah. If the supposed dead person woke up underground, they would pull the string, ring the bell, and the graveyard night watchman would dig them up. Thus, a person pulled from the grave was a dead ringer. But that's not what it was. Well, it makes for a fantastic, tale. Language researchers, our linguists again, have research completely debunked this. Safety coffins did exist as patents, but there is no record of anyone actually being saved by one, and the phrase doesn't appear in print with this meaning until long after the practice faded. So see, no one was saved by it.
Oh.
But we could still research and find out.
The patents didn't work.
They didn't work. But hey, whatever.
Hey, someone got paid.
So we're going to go with the true origin story from the 19th century horse racing again. Those little pains in the butts over there with all their corruptness. The actual phrase comes directly from the underground high-stakes world of horse racing fraud in the late 1800s America.
How do you have an underground race?
I don't know.
A horse race takes up a lot of space.
Well, underground, like black market.
Yeah, I know.
Underground.
But even that, just
people are shady. This is the 1800s.
This is private property officer.
People are shady today. Okay, dishonest stable owners. This is actually really interesting. Dishonest stable owners and bookmakers would occasionally get their hands on an incredibly fast championship caliber horse. To make massive amounts of money, they would secretly enter this fast horse into a low-level race under the name of a much slower, lower-valued horse with terrible odds. To pull off the scam, the fast horse had to look exactly like the slow horse it was replacing. Scammers would use hair dye, bleach, and clever grooming to match the markings perfectly. I'm
thinking of the zoo in China that ran out of money and
pandas
that had dogs.
Oh yeah,
lions and pandas.
Yes, so funny. The slang of the 1880s, the word ringer came from the old verb to ring, which meant to substitute or exchange a fraudulent item for a real one. Meanwhile, the word dead was used as an intensifier, meaning absolute or exact, just like we still say dead center or dead right today. So when a horse was a dead ringer, it was an absolute perfect fraudulent duplicate of the other animal, capable of running the race undetected and pulling off the heist. By the 20th century, the phrase lost its criminal connotation and became a general slang for any two things that look alike. For me, that's doppelganger.
That's why you're supposed to gamble only through government sources, everybody.
Oh, yeah, because they're the safest ones.
Yes.
So
it's modern, not rigged with them.
Yeah, so modern meaning someone who looks almost like identical to another person or thing. Again, I say doppelganger.
Yeah.
Which is a more fun word to say. But yes.
German origin.
German. Damn you, Germany. Look, it's a whole party in the hallway again. You're welcome. The walls are thin here. They totally hear us the whole time. They get this whole thing right out of the gates.
Yeah.
You guys have to wait. All right. The next one. We're almost done. We have 4 more. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
Be grateful for what you're given and don't look at the horse's health. Like, at least in front of the person.
Yes, pretty close. The modern meaning is like, don't criticize something you received as a gift or favor.
Yeah.
Don't be rude, basically. Someone gives you something, be nice about it. Just, sulk when they leave. All right. So just like getting the information straight from the horse's mouth, this idiom centers on the biological reality of, the teeth. Centuries ago, horses were the ultimate asset for labor, transport, and status. When purchasing a horse at a market, a buyer had to be incredibly careful not to be scammed by the seller, claiming an animal was young and hardy when it was actually old and exhausted. Because a horse's teeth continually grow, change shape, and wear down over its lifetime, an experienced handler would pull open the animal's lips to examine its incisors. The teeth would reveal the absolute truth about the horse's age and overall worth, as I said in the other episode about, what was it?
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes, exactly. That one, because I'm tired. However, if someone gifted you a horse out of generosity, performing this exact same inspection right in front of the giver was an ultimate insult.
Yeah, it's a gift. You're not buying the damn thing.
Don't criticize your
You're receiving a gift.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if the horse is old or whatever.
Exactly.
At least you got a good stew coming your way.
Yeah. By prying open the animal's mouth to check its teeth, you were essentially saying, let me check your generosity to see exactly how cheap or old this free animal is. It signaled that you cared more about the monetary value of the asset than the kind gesture of the person giving it to you. The phrase is ancient and with written variants tracing all the way back to Latin texts in the 4th century, making it one of the oldest and most endearing etiquette lessons in the English language.
Yeah.
Don't be rude.
Yeah.
I used to be like that when I was younger.
Your parents give you an old Honda Civic.
Yes, it's a car.
It's a car,
We love cars.
Oh, we see so many videos today.
Oh, my God.
Of, I didn't want a Mercedes.
I wanted a Porsche.
I wanted a Porsche.
This is the wrong type of Tesla.
This is the wrong. Oh, my God.
So rude. I didn't get a car when I turned 16 or when I got my license. I was, unfortunately, had to get my own car. Yeah. I had to be an adult. I was not fortunate or privileged. All right, our next one. You should know this one. On the wagon.
Ah, yes. You quit something. Be it gambling, drugs, alcohol, scantily clad women.
Well, this one more specifically relates to alcohol, but
mostly alcohol.
Its origins are alcohol-based.
Addiction-based.
Yes. But
problematic behavior-based.
Yes. But this one starts with the alcohol. And then, everyone, they were very inclusive. They brought them all together.
Yeah.
At some points. Okay. The phrase originates from the late 19th, early 20th centuries, like most of these do, during the height of the Temperance movement in the United States and Great Britain, when social groups actively campaigned against the consumption of alcohol.
Boo.
Boo. They were boring. And next, they were like feminist. Before modern plumbing and paved roads, cities used large or strong wooden carts equipped with massive cylindrical tanks of water. They were known as water wagons. Their primary job was to drive down the dusty dirt roads, spraying water onto the ground to keep the dust from kicking up into the air, blanketing the city. Men who pledged to stop drinking alcohol would dramatically declare that they were going to climb up and ride on top of the water cart instead of going to the saloon. The idea was that if they became thirsty, they would have nothing to drink but the pure, clean water from the wagon, which I doubt it was pure or clean.
Yeah.
But it was
non-potable.
The alcohol was probably clean. Originally, the full phrase was on the water wagon. Over time, people dropped the word water, but the mental image stuck. Falling off the wagon, a person had tumbled back onto the street right outside the doors of the local bar.
Into the awesome life of hanging out at a saloon.
They're like, how did I fall off right in front of my local pub?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, where?
Sorry, honey.
But yes, now the modern day meaning is abstaining for alcohol or sex or drugs or anything bad, while off the wagon means that you've relapsed.
So you're on the wagon, you're boring as shit.
Yes.
Off the wagon,
You're
fucking
fun and
Chad, awesome,
psycho.
cool dude.
Or you can be a problem.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's problematic, but whatever.
Depending on who you are. But if you were on it and now you're off it, there's probably a reason. And it wasn't, if you're just a casual, it's usually fine.
Yeah.
Some people don't know when they have the problem. All right, the next one. In the nick of time.
Does it have anything to do with Santa?
No.
Okay, Saint Nick.
Close, but no cigar. All right. This phrase traces back to the 16th century in England, long before the invention of the digital clock, smartphones, or easily accessible paper calendars. To keep track of time, transaction, or tallies, people use physical wooden sticks called tally sticks. If you were measuring a countdown, tracking days, or recording a specific score, you would take a knife and carve a small notch, historically called a nick, into the edge of the wood. In the 1500s and 1600s, the phrase, the nick, became common slang for the exact critical moment a change occurred, similar to how we would say on the dot. Today, if something happened exactly at that final notch was being cut into the wood, it happened right in the nick. Over the decades, people began pairing the nick with of time to emphasize an event that slipped into the schedule at an absolute final fractional seconds. So just in time, the last possible moments, like you were about to miss the bus, but you got on there just in the nick of time because you took too long getting ready. Or, you could have died and got out of there just in the nick of time.
Yeah. You left the military right before war started.
Yeah. Or you made it and saved your friends. All kinds of things.
Post office right before they close.
Yes. Ooh. And our final one, which there's many, many other ones, but I stopped at 30.
Our language is riddled with idioms.
There's so many. Like, there's at least another 20.
You could literally do a YouTube channel of just idioms.
Oh my God, so much.
You'd have an episode every day.
Yes. So our last one is pass the buck.
To put the responsibility on someone else.
Correct. That's how it is used today. While people often think of money, bucks, when they hear this phrase, the origin has absolutely nothing to do with cash. Instead, it comes directly from the tense, smoky saloons of 19th century frontier America during the early days of poker. So it has to do with poker. It's actually pretty cool. And probably all my poker players know all about this. In regular poker games on the frontier, players took turns acting as the dealer. To ensure the deal rotated fairly around the table and to prevent cheating, players used a physical marker to designate whose turn it was to deal next. Because many of these frontiersmen and cowboys carried hunting knives, the most common object placed on the table to mark the dealer spot was a pocket knife with a handle made from a male deer's antlers, properly known as a buckhorn knife, or simply the buck. When a player finished dealing the rounds, they would physically hand a knife to the next player, literally passing the buck. If a player didn't want the immense pressure, scrutiny, and responsibility of dealing the next hand, as dealers were often accused of rigging the deck, if a fight broke out, they would immediately pass it along to avoid the hassle. And then there's a small other side story to this, or they call it the ultimate counter phrase of it, which isn't exactly pass the buck, but it's somewhat related. The idiom became a permanent part of American culture thanks to U.S. President Harry S. Truman.
Yep.
When he took office in 1945, he placed a famous sign directly on his desk in the Oval Office that read, "The buck stops here." Truman wanted a daily visual reminder that as president, he couldn't pass the blame or shift responsibility for a tough decision to anyone else. The final decision was entirely on him. So yes, the modern day meaning is to avoid responsibility by blaming or assigning it to someone else. So
and he nuked Japan.
And he did not pass the buck. He took the buck.
Yeah.
So that is my next round of my 15 common phrases and their origins.
And if you like that one, go to the first episode.
Mhm.
I'm going to put the thingy here too.
Somewhere.
Maybe.
It's going to be here or
Yeah.
on his.
Or not. I don't know. Find it.
Yeah. It's a couple episodes before this one.
But seriously, there's so many.
There's so many. And I wanted to do something heavier than these origin stories. I was going to go with some dark person in history. But I was like, let's keep it light.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that person next week. Or maybe not.
Don't worry. There's plenty of
or I'll
dark
pick someone
shit
else.
from history.
Oh my God, there's so much and I love it.
Yeah.
Because people don't change. We got a lot of dark stuff happening now.
Yeah. It was just easier back in the day to be a psychopath, I think.
Oh my gosh, it's easier to get away with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm listening to my Morbid podcast and they've done a 4-part episode on Jack the Ripper.
Oh yeah.
And I'm on like part 3.
And once people start getting a little wise, you just up and change jurisdictions.
Oh yeah. Back then it was so easy, especially when there was no DNA yet. And
aren't people starting to? There's people saying that women were, a woman was Jack the Ripper now. Have you heard
there's
that?
so many different theories on it.
Yeah. Again, people just putting themselves in history.
Yeah, there's the American theory. There's, the doctor theory. They were saying butchers originally and shoemakers because of the knife they used. And
you know what?
But the thing is, to me, it had to have been a doctor because you need to know human anatomy. Because the way he was pulling out like organs perfectly in 15 minutes or less. You had to know human anatomy to do
what
that.
An organ looked like.
And even if you were a butcher, you wouldn't know human anatomy. You would know like the animal anatomy of like a cow or whatever you're butchering, but you don't know human unless you somehow are sneaking bodies and chopping them up. But that's why, because the way they describe how perfectly he was taking things out, because the girl in the podcast, she's a morgue, like she's a tech in a morgue. She's like, to do it in 15 minutes or less is insane. She's like, when I do quick ones, she's like, it takes me 2 hours because there's certain like places you have to separate carefully. You can't just, and if you don't know what you're doing, it's just a big old sloppy mess. So you have to know exactly what you're doing. And to do it in 15 minutes or less, he was like pulling out like a uterus and ovaries and all these things like perfectly. So that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
the hobby of murdering hookers.
Oh my gosh.
In London back in the day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You didn't have a lot of time. And it was dark as dark can be out there.
Yeah.
Anyways, subscribe, follow, leave comments on all our places. We love it when you argue with us. It's so much fun.
Yes.
I love it.
Flame Wars.
Yay.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.